Bright Cutie. Every student matters.
Hello students, in data handling till now we have studied collection of data, that what are the points we should keep in our mind while collecting the data, and the second thing we studied in it was organization of data, that how should we organize the data so that the interpretation becomes easier and better. And the third thing we studied was how to find arithmetic mean, or simply the mean of the data. Arithmetic mean was equal to sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. It was basically ratio of sum of observations and number of observations. And then we have studied how to find range of the data, and range was equal to highest value or the highest observation minus lowest observation. We can say it was difference between highest observation and lowest observation, and we have seen few examples based on these things. Now in this video we are going to see many more questions based on all these things. So now the first question of today's video is, find the range of heights of any 10 students of your class. So in this, first you have to collect heights of 10 students of your class. Suppose the heights collected were 4, 4.5, 5, 3.8, 6, 5.1, 5.5, 6, 4, and let's say it is 3.9. Now we have to find range of this data. How we can find range? We know range is equal to highest observation minus lowest observation. So what do you think? What is the highest observation here in this table or in this collection of heights? So the highest observation is 6 feet. And what is the lowest observation here? As we can see, it is 3.8 feet. So range will be equal to highest observation minus lowest observation. So it will become 6 minus 3.8. Now by subtracting this, we will get 2.2. So therefore we can say our final answer range will be equal to 2.2 according to this data. Now this data will vary student to student. So in this question, what we did, first we collected the data, and for finding the range we simply subtracted lowest observation from the highest observation. This gave us range as 2.2. Now let's move to the next question. The question here is, organize the following marks in a class assessment in a tabular form. So the data is given to us here. It is containing marks of a class assessment. We have to organize this data in a tabular form, and then we have to find which number is the highest, which number is the lowest, what is the range of the data, and then we have to find arithmetic mean of the data. For that, let's form a table first. Now in this table, in the first column we will write marks. In the second column we will mark tally. and in the third column we will write frequency of every mark. Now let's write all the marks in ascending order. As from the table given here or the data given here, we can see marks are from 1 to 9. So let's write it here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now let's see the first observation. The first observation here is 4. So in front of 4 we will mark one tally here. Now the second observation here is 6. Now in front of 6 we will mark 1. The third observation is 7. Now in front of 7 also we will mark 1. And then we have 5. Now in front of 5 we will mark 1. And then we have 3. Now in front of 3 we will mark 1. Now after 3 we will have 5. Again in front of 5 we will mark one more line. Now after 5 we have 4. Now in front of 4 again one line, and then 5, again one line in front of 5, and then we have 2. We will mark one line in front of 2, and then we have 6. Now in front of 6 we will mark one more line, and then we have 2. Now in front of 2 one line, and then we have 5. So one more line will come here in front of 5, and then we have 1. We will mark one line in front of 5, in front of 1, and then we have 9. We will mark one line in front of 9, and then we have 6. So we will mark one line here in front of 6, and then we have 5. Now in front of 5 we have to mark one more line. We have already marked 4 lines, so the fifth line will be crossing all the 4 lines like this. And then we have 8. Now in front of 8 we will mark 1, and then we have 4. Now in front of 4 let's mark one more line, and then we have 6. Now in front of 6 there will be one more line, and then finally we have 7. We will mark one more line in front of 7. Now we will write frequency corresponding to each and every marks. So for the marks 1, tally is 1, so frequency will be 1. Now for 2 it is 2, so the frequency becomes 2. Now for 3 it is 1, so the frequency becomes 1. Now for 4 there are 3 tally marks, so the frequency becomes 3. Now in front of 5 there are 5 tally marks, so frequency for 5 will be 5. Now frequency for 6 will be 4, as there are 4 tally marks in front of 6. Now for 7 it will be 2, for 8 it will be 1, and for 9 also it is 1. So this is how we can organize the data in tabular form. Now we have to find which is the highest number, or which number is the highest. So answer for the first one will be 9. As we can see from the table, 9 is the highest marks. So answer for the first one will be 9. Now what will be the answer for the second question, which is which number is the lowest? So what do you think from the data? Which number is the lowest? As we can see from the table, it is 1. So 1 will be the answer for the second question. Now what is the third question? What is range of the data? Now how do we find range? As we know, range of the data is equal to highest observation minus lowest observation, or we can simply say difference of highest observation and lowest observation. So here range will be equal to highest observation is 9 minus lowest observation, which is 1. So the answer will be 8. 8 is the final answer of the third question. Now here is the fourth question. In this we have to find arithmetic mean of the data, or we can simply write it as mean. Now as we know, mean is equal to sum of observations divided by number of observations. Now for finding sum of all the observations, we will add all the marks given here. So 4 plus 6 is 10, 10 plus 7, 17, 17 plus 5, 22, 22 plus 3, 25, 25 plus 5, 30, and 30 plus 4 will give us 34, 34 plus 5, 39, 39 plus 2, 41, 41 plus 6, 47, 47 plus 2, 49, 49 plus 5, 54, 54 plus 1, 55, 55 plus 9, 64, 64 plus 6, 70, 70 plus 5, 75, 75 plus 8, 83, 83 plus 4, 87, and 87 plus 6, 93, 93 plus 7 will give us 100. So here sum of all the observations is 100, and how many observations are here? The total number of observations are, let's count it from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and there are 10 more observations. So in total there are 20 observations. So mean will be equal to 100 upon 20. Now by simplifying this, we will get 5. So the final answer is 5. Therefore mean of this data is 5. So now in this question, one unorganized data was given to us. First of all, we organized this data in tabular form, and then we have solved few questions based on this data. That is, what is the highest value, what is the lowest value, what is the range of the data, and arithmetic mean of the data. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, find the mean of the first 5 whole numbers. Here data is given as first 5 whole numbers. Now what are the whole numbers? Let's see what are the whole numbers first. We represent set of whole numbers with W, and it is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this it will go on. These are all the whole numbers. Now we have to find mean of first 5 whole numbers. Now let's write first 5 whole numbers. It will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the first 5 whole numbers. Now mean will be equal to sum of observations divided by number of observations, that is ratio of sum of observation and number of observations. So it will be equal to 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 whole divided by number of observations. So here we are having 5 observations, so it will be divided by 5. Now let's find this sum first. 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, and 6 plus 4 gives us 10. So this will be 10 divided by 5. Now by simplifying this, we will get 2. Therefore mean of this data will be 2. Hence the final answer here is 2. So in this question what we did, first we collected the data, that is first 5 whole numbers, and then we have find the mean of this data by finding ratio of sum of observations and number of observations. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, a cricketer scores the following runs in 8 innings. and the scores are 58, 76, 40, 35, 46, 45, 0 and 100. So these are the scores of a cricketer in 8 innings. We have to find the mean score. Now as we know, mean is equal to sum of all the observations or sum of all the runs here. You can write sum of runs divided by number of observations, or we can write here as number of innings. So let's find it. Now what will be the sum of all the runs? It will be 58 plus 76 plus 40 plus 35 plus 46 plus 45 plus 0 and plus 100. Now this will be divided by total number of innings here, and it is given as 8. So it will be 8. Now by simplifying this sum, we will get 400 divided by 8. The sum of all the runs here was 400 and this will be divided by 8. Now this gives us 50. Therefore, mean score of the cricketer is 50 runs. Now let's see the next question. The question is, following table shows the point of each player scored in 4 games. There are 3 players playing 4 games, player A, player B and player C, and in this table points scored by them are given here. Now in the first part of the question, we have to find the mean to determine A's average number of points scored per game. Now for finding the mean, we know we have to find sum of observations, or we can say sum of scores made by player A divided by number of games played by player A, or basically we can say it is sum of observations divided by number of observations. So sum of all the scores will be 14 plus 16 plus 10 plus 10. So these are the scores made by player A in how many games? In 4 games. So total number of games will be 4 here. Now this sum will be 14 plus 16 will give us 30, 30 plus 10 40, 40 plus 10 50. Now 50 divided by 4. 50 divided by 4 will be equal to 12.5. Therefore, mean to determine A's average number of points scored per game will be 12.5. So the answer for first part of the question is 12.5. Now let's move to the second part of the question, and it is to find the mean number of points per game of C. Would you divide the total points by 3 or by 4? And we have to tell why we are doing it. Now let's see for C. Now C is playing only 3 games. As we can see here, in the first game he scored 8 points, and then in the second game he scored 11 points, and then the third game he has not played, and in the fourth game he has scored 13 marks. So for finding the mean of this player C, what we will do, we will divide it by 3, because number of games, we can say total number of games or number of games played by player C is equal to 3. That's why we are going to divide it by 3. So the answer for this question will be 3. Now let's move to the next question, which is B played in all the 4 games. How would you find the mean? Here we just have to tell how we have to find mean for player B. So what we will do, as we know, mean is equal to sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. So here it will be total points scored by player B divided by number of games played by player B. So this will be equal to 0 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4 divided by 4, as he had played all the 4 games, and points scored by him was 0, 8, 6 and 4 respectively. So this sum will be equal to 0 plus 8 is 8, 8 plus 6 is 14, 14 plus 8 will give us 18. So this will become 18 divided by 4, and by simplifying this we will get 9 divided by 2, or we can write it as 4.5. So mean of this data is 4.5. So for finding mean, what we did, we had find the ratio of total points and number of games. Now let's move to the next part of the question. The question here is, who is the best performer? Now as we have seen, mean score of player A was equal to 12.5 points, and mean of player B, we have just seen it was equal to 4.5, and mean of player C, we can find it now. This will be equal to 8 plus 11 plus 13 divided by 3, as he had played only 3 matches. So this will be equal to 32 divided by 3. Now this is equal to 10.66. Now as we can see here, player A is the best performer. So answer for this question will be player A.